So, Parth, we're going to talk about epoxy powder coatings today. I know you all have a very strong line of those products. Tell me, what are those usually called for? Why do people would want epoxy coatings?
Epoxy powder coatings are mainly used for like indoor applications, applications where they require really high corrosive resistance or really high
Hmm.
chemical resistance. Some applications that we have customers that use epoxy powder coatings are in like anywhere that comes in contact with gear lube or oils or
Hmm.
fuels or anything like that of that sort. Um, Mildly caustic or corrosive cleaners that polyester can withstand. Epoxy is a good alternative for those, as well as anything that's going to be mainly indoors, chandeliers, indoor furniture, anything like that. Epoxy is a really good coating for those kind of stuff just because it holds up to everyday cleaners and everything. So it's not going to break down within a year.
Right. Yeah. We say indoors, but it is a really tough finish, correct?
Yes, yeah. Indoors it really implies that it doesn't have any good UV protection properties. Epoxies tend to yellow and lose color when it comes in direct UV contact or direct sunlight contact. So that's why they're not used for outdoor applications. But as far as the finish and the adhesion that you get using epoxy powder coating, it's top notch.
Right, right. Yeah, like you mentioned, fuel, lube oils, things like that that it may come in contact with because it really resists those very, very well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that might degrade a regular coating, epoxy is usually the alternative to those, just because with the solvents and kind of stuff that might be in lube or fuel, it can withstand coming in contact with those.
Right, right. And when you say epoxy, I know we're talking about cross connecting the resins and things. I know you all have your own lab there. You have your own production facility. You guys spent some time, I guess, making sure you had the right formulation for this and taking a look at that. Talk about that a little bit. How you all come up with this formulation a little bit.
Yeah. So there are wildly different ratios that we can use for
Hmm.
epoxy resin and hardener, and different ratios will have different slightly different technical properties as well. So depending on the customer's application, we're able to test and fine tune that. If we need to add more resin to a hardener ratio to give it more flow or whatever the customer may call for, we can adjust those ratios and fine tune it and do the testing in house as well before we send out any samples or any product out to the customer into the field.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess that doing that, being a partner with them, of really making sure it's just not off the shelf, right? I mean, it's something that you can really fine tune for what it is. I guess you have to get an understanding of what's going to be coming in contact with it, or what's it going to be around. Is that what
Yeah.
kind of determines how you're going to put that together?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest questions that we ask whenever a customer is inquiring about a specific powder coating is what is the application? Where is the environment, or where is the part going to be going to be for the rest of its life? Is it going to be in contact with heat, acids, chemicals, or anything like that? Just because we want to make sure that the coating doesn't fail in the field later on at any point. We want to
Hmm.
ensure that the quality and the longevity for the product is there for the customer as well.
Right, right. Yeah, like you mentioned, automotive, anything with cabinets, toolboxes, uh, power tool, wire goods, those type of things. And like you said, you guys, as we've written about you guys before, you've kind of new to the market, but you've got a lot of experience and you worked with some very knowledgeable people putting these formulations together. And I guess, like you said, you're getting some really good results from your customers who are really enjoying the products that you're giving them and the attentiveness that they want also with that, right?
Yeah, yeah. A big part of it is service. We're always listening to our customers, trying to make sure that the coating that they get from us is top notch, and it's almost tailored to their specific
Mm.
application to make sure that there's no failures, no issues that happen later on, whether it be 6 months, 1 year, 5 year down the line. We want to make sure that the coating is holding up to its standards.
Right, right. And like I said, you guys have a wide variety of different products, not just epoxy. You have a lot of different kinds that you can do. And do you formulate those sometimes specialty for some of those customers as well? Is it really uh,
Yeah, so with
directing it right to
epoxy,
them?
we kind of have a nice wide range of stuff that we can do with epoxy just because of some of its inherent properties. Um, epoxy is pretty, once it goes through the cross-linking process, epoxy and the hardener kind of become inert. So that's there are some cross hardeners and epoxy that reach FDA compliance as well. So we've gotten projects in the past where those standards had to be met. We had to reach certain FDA compliances, and we did those using epoxy powder coatings. Same in the same vein, we've had calls for specific insulated coatings where coatings had to reach a specific
Mm.
insulated value in order to ensure, arcing or anything like that with the field that the product is going to be in. And we developed coatings for customers in the past where we
Mm.
specifically made it so they have high insulated properties. They don't burn or anything like that, and they keep all the current where it's supposed to be.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I know you guys been picking up a lot of business and scaling up as well. And like I said, but again, as you said, service is the key with you guys. I think that's something that you started out with. If that's what that was going to be your hallmark, good quality, but also the good service. And it sounds like you guys have been able to handle all that additional work again with that attention to detail that those customers need.
Yep, yeah, yeah. Service is the number one thing for us. If we gotta had to rank stuff, probably tie for first is service and product. We want to make sure that we're having a good quality product, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're able to support the product and have a good backbone and support the customer as well using the product.